Hello, well, we are the Oliver Twins. I'm Philip.
And I'm Andrew.
And today we're going to do a Let's Play of one of our very early games, Super Robin Hood. This was produced in the summer of '86 and released in the autumn through Codemasters. So, we produced the programming and the design and the graphics ourselves, and I was very proud of the Robin Hood on the left-hand side. Very nice job. It actually turns its head in as you start to play. So, Andrew, if you'd like to kick it off. We had this fun idea of putting speech into all of our games, obviously. So, what's the objective, Andrew?
The objective is, obviously, we wanted to make a platform game with ledges and ladders and timing puzzles. But why Robin Hood?
So we'd just finished the sixth form. During our A-levels we wrote Killipede, that's the subject of another Let's Play, and we'd convinced our parents that we should take a year out to try to make a business out of making games.
Because believe it or not, at that point people said there's no money in it, and to be fair, we had written a few games and not got very much money for it, but we thought, no, come on, people like playing these games.
We knew there was a big future in sort of video games, and we kind of felt that we were in a good place to sort of take advantage of the opportunity, and we thought we really could make a business of it. So we convinced our parents not that we could take a year out from going to university, and they said that we wouldn't need to go to university if we could earn more than them during that year. So during the summer of '86, our friends were obviously getting set to go to university. We knew that come September we really had to sort of knuckle down and make a commercial success.
Okay, the background brickwork is a bit gaudy, but what we wanted to do is, I'm just about to turn it off because actually it's getting quite annoying, but if you look at the brickwork, it shows you how high up the castle, and obviously the end is kind of going up high, so I can tell that I was on sort of level 3 then. I'm going to level 2. I go down the castle, the brickwork changes.
There's actually 6 different floors to this castle, and you can tell which floor you're on.
Okay, but actually, you know what? I'm going to deliberately die when I find there's no quit option. You just have to die, just to get rid of the background. I'm going to just turn it off.
Okay, that's fine. So what actually happened was we were looking at what was being commercially successful, and Ghostbusters on the Commodore 64 had just come out, I think, the previous year, and was hugely successful, partly because the film was so good, but basically people recognised that the brand of Ghostbusters and associated it with high quality entertainment. So we wondered whether there was a kind of a licence that we could get a hold of, so that when people found our game in the shop, they would associate it with high quality product, and they'd know exactly kind of what they were getting.
I mean, we wanted to make a sort of ladders platform game with all the switches, and we figured a good setting is a castle, a good hero is Robin Hood, and there's an obvious objective, sort of rescue Maid Marian, and obvious foes and enemies, which were knights and guards, and you've instantly got a backstory without sort of having to think about it too much.
And you didn't have much memory to put a backstory in either. So it became a free license to us.
Let's go back into the game. It will look a bit cleaner now.
So we had to make a real go of sort of making sure this was a commercial success. So we attended the ECTS trade show in London, in Hammersmith, with the idea of meeting the small publishers that were all had stands there. We would present to them the games that we'd previously written, and we had this new concept. It was actually just on a single piece of paper, Robin Hood. And we were going around each of the stands basically saying who would publish this game. Obviously we hadn't written it, but we were convincing them that we could write this game. And when we met, we saw a new stand called Codemasters. There were 3 guys standing there. The stand was very small, a single table and sort of 2 sort of posters behind them. The 3 attendees were Jim Darling, the father, and the 2 sons, Richard and David. They were our age at the time, so 18 and 19, I think, 17 and 18. And we showed them our cassettes. They were quite impressed with what we'd already produced. We showed them the game. They really liked the idea of Robin Hood. We asked how much they would pay us for it if we produced this game, to which David answered £10,000.
Which was a hell of a lot of money because we hadn't made anything like that. Our previous games we were always getting hundreds, which we were generally happy with, but it wasn't enough to make a living. I mean, we had just bought a second-hand car, which was quite ropey, and it was like £10,000. We could buy a brand new decent car for that.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, yeah, it was unbelievable. So we immediately said, yes, we will do that. Yes, we will have this game produced for you as quickly as possible. They were keen to get the game into the shops before Christmas. They were a very new publisher. They'd not actually published any games to that point. They were about to publish their first games that Rich and David had actually written, BMX Simulator and Red Max, I think.
Yes, it was. Well, it's a bit of a timing game this. I should actually talk a bit more about the game itself, because obviously the gameplay was about sort of finding the right keys to the switches to set the elevators going and dodging all the guards, and it's timing puzzles and a little bit of exploration and...
Let's see if we can get across this timing puzzle. Oh no! Jump!
No, not very well, I think is the answer to that one.
Yeah, these aren't expert plays, these are developer playthroughs. We've got to remember this was...
reminiscing.
And reminiscing, yes, absolutely.
Oh my god!
This was 29 years ago that we wrote this, so it's quite a lot to try to remember. You had to collect all the coins, you get the hearts for health. The ultimate objective was to find Maid Marian, who's in the top right corner of the map. The map itself was 6 levels high in the castle. Make an effort.
Yeah, all right. I did lose a bit of health there.
And about a little bit wider than the sort of height, so probably about 8 screens wide. I mean, that's quite a lot to fit in a very small amount of memory. It was running on the Amstrad CPC, which had 64k of memory, but you lost a lot of that to the sort of the operating system, to the screen RAM, so that all in all the game, the graphics, the sound, the code and everything all had to fit into about 30k, so you had to be pretty efficient. It was
oh god,
Z80. You're not paying attention, Andrew?
I did not think that.
Or was that just a shortcut?
Well, it was a shortcut, but it wasn't deliberate.
Can you get some health? Because you're right down to 27. So you need a heart for health, don't you? Yeah, that rat doesn't do anything. Just hold there. Up. He doesn't go anywhere. Up. No, get down. Dodge. No, he does. That doesn't go anywhere.
Yes, it does. Key. Ha.
Okay, fair play. You were right. I was wrong.
Does that? Do I have to jump it?
Hey, you did that. Now you go up there and you wait for that guard to go past, and then you can get up through there. Okay, that's good.
Okay, that picture looks more like a stamp.
So
it's supposed to be a horse. Man on a horse within a few pixels. Brilliant.
So. We returned to Codemasters. Well, basically, we were very excited. We went home saying that we would make this game for Codemasters. We were so excited at the idea that we'd get £10,000 for this game, and then our business would be up and running.
That was some motivation.
Yeah, so we went home. We only had the one computer. We wanted to make sure that we made the best game as fast as we could, so we came up with a way of working shifts.
Because we only have one computer, so we figured that whoever's sort of typing at the computer, working on the computer, the other one can go and have some... Go to bed, and then
get some rest.
When we were both up, we'd be discussing the various things. But it was fun because you sort of go to bed, you'd work out that the other one was going to do a certain feature, and then you'd wake up and see if the feature was working or not, and we'd talk about it together, and then switch over.
So the computer itself was on pretty much 23 hours a day, and the reason it wasn't on 24 hours a day was because we were very conscious that actually it would overheat. So we kind of gave it sort of half-hour breaks just to cool down. Because obviously this was our only workhorse, and if we lost the computer, then we were in big trouble.
This game's getting harder.
It took about a month to write. We drove up to Codemasters to have a meeting with the Darlings to show them the finished game at approximately I'd probably say it's the first week of October. We reminded them of conversation and how much money. They produced a letter, a single page, which unfortunately they had to break to us. They were only going to pay us royalties of 10 pence per copy. We were extremely disappointed at this stage. They were quick to reassure
How
us.
do you get that guy? Sorry,
I don't think you ever can. No, you just can't.
Oh, it was just literally to set up timing so that you have the time to go over these ledges.
Absolutely. So a little bit disappointing. However, they reassured us that they just had their first games go into the market. They were selling well.
Oh God, I died.
They expected. Well, we'll just finish up now. But they expected this game to be very, very successful. They were going to do a duplication run, which would lead to those royalties being worth about £2,000. That was still better than we'd had before, and obviously there was a potential to earn a lot more through royalties. The really good news was that by November the game was out in the shops. It was reviewing very well, it was selling very well, and by the time we got to Christmas it was obvious that the royalties were going to pile in. And in fact, early in the new year we received a cheque close to £10,000, which was always the promise.
And then theoretically it carried on to make more money after that, so we were very very happy, and we stayed with Codemasters for a long time, making a lot of games.
And this game itself, Super Robin Hood, was converted by Mark Baldock onto the Spectrum. It was converted to Commodore 64, the Atari ST, the Amiga, all with a great deal of success and lots of fond memories. And in fact, when we decided we were going to start writing games on the consoles, on the NES in particular, we decided that we'd make Super Robin Hood one of our first games. And in fact, we should do a Let's Play of that, because it really was a significant improvement, and it was our first game onto the consoles.
Okay, so we should show you the map of Super Robin Hood, because it's quite large. So if we sort of look around that.
Yeah, as you can see, it's huge actually. I mean, that's a big map and an awful lot of gameplay. And bearing in mind, in those days there was no concept of save game. To actually beat a game like this was going to be quite an epic thing to do. The mastery required, the frustration, or some people like to call it gameplay, of having to keep getting reset and trying again. Well, it made a lot of gameplay hours.
But we've mentioned on another game playing it actually. It does feel quite tough, but not as tough as the Jet Set Willies and Manic Miners of the day. Those were just rock hard. But I guess it would be very, very challenging to actually beat this game.
So anyway, we have fond memories of Super Robin Hood. It was our first sort of big hit, first #1, and really set our careers off to a flying start. So I think we should wrap it up there, Andrew. Thank you very much for listening to us reminisce. I hope you've enjoyed it.
And I hope you found it interesting, and can forgive my poor game playing.
Absolutely. So this is me, Philip.
And Andrew.
Signing off.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Goodbye.